It is 11 o'clock, hour number 2 on this Friday. Welcome back into the program. Appreciate Wimp Sanderson joining us just a couple of minutes ago, brought to you by Craneworks.
We were going through however it came up, Lorena Bobbitt, that whole thing, and going through famous or infamous trials, cases from the 90s. The one I was thinking of was Amy Fisher.
Mm-hmm. Went to the door of the person that was supposedly having an affair with her husband.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that the Long Island? Was she the Long Island?
I think so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like a throwback. And then Loyola Marymount.
Mm-hmm. What they did against Alabama in the NCAA basketball tournament there in Oakland.
Rodak probably remembers the whole Amy Fisher thing.
You think so? I don't know. Let's check in with Mike and see what he's up to on this Friday. So, Mike, do you remember that? I know you're a Northeastern guy. You went to Providence. Do you remember that story with Fisher in Long Island?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay.
How long ago was it?
It would have been, early 90s?
No. Yeah, it's going back too far.
Amy Fisher. You're a younger buck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 1992.
Okay, yeah. Definitely not before my time, but definitely before when I can remember. Stuff like that. I don't think my parents were telling me bedtime stories about Amy Fisher.
Well, if they did, they weren't good parents.
No.
Because it was
She wounded Mary Jo Buttafuoco.
Yeah, Buttafuoco. That's who it was. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
Which is tough to say.
Yes. Got to be careful on the radio saying that. All right. Let's talk a little Charles Bediako, Mike, the ongoing saga about who the judge is going to be. What can you tell us about the new assignment for the Charles Bediako case?
Right, yeah. So it got reassigned. So it went from, Judge Jim Roberts, who I think, was kind of the subject of criticism on the outside, if you will, from obviously the Reddit posters that were cited, by the NCAA in their filing, and several stories written about it, and as far as his donations. So, he recused himself. There was no objection from Bediako's attorneys on that. It went to the second most senior judge to reassign the case, and he reassigned it to Daniel Pruitt, who is an Alabama grad, which is actually different than Roberts, who is not. But Pruitt's actually been the one who's been overseeing the Darius Miles murder case, which is still has not gone to trial over 3 years now. But Pruitt also oversaw the trial of his co-defendant last year, who was Michael Davis, and he was convicted, and Pruitt sentenced him to life in prison, without the possibility of parole. So I guess from an outside perspective, there's no donations that people know about that's, published publicly from Pruitt, but there's also kind of the idea that Pruitt has overseen a case involving an Alabama basketball player, and in fact was accused of potentially being partial in the case, and was asked to recuse himself by the attorneys for Miles, and he declined to do that. So I guess if you're looking at it from that perspective, it's maybe more of a appearance of impartiality when you have that kind of history on his books. So I don't know if that means anything in the end, one way or the other on Bediako, but just from an appearance standpoint, maybe it looks better.
Mike, we should all be legal experts, and maybe you're more well-versed, but just to kind of lay it out in layman's terms, you got the hearing coming up before the Auburn game, February the 6th, where it goes back. So the judge can either uphold it, which would that make it permanent? If he upholds it, which we expect him to do, what would the next potential step be as far as someone impeding Charles Bediako from playing college basketball?
I don't think there would be as far as this season goes. I think if the injunction is, and it's more the restraining order that's already in place. If that's upheld, it would also, I guess, come with the injunction that would really be throughout the case. It would probably hold for the duration of the case, pending the case outcome. So, that obviously is not going to be something that's quick. It would probably be more of a longer term thing. So that would, I don't say guarantee that he plays the rest of the season, but I think it would make it a pretty safe bet. And, just kind of see where the case goes from there. And, it doesn't necessarily mean he'll win the case, but I think if there's an injunction that's granted to him next Friday, then it's fairly safe to say he'll play the rest of the year.
So, okay. So would there be a path, though, for the NCAA to appeal it to another court?
Yes. And so and again, I'm not a lawyer.
No, I understand.
Expert in this, but I have covered the Jeremy Pruitt case in DeKalb County,
Right.
and that was a similar situation where
Because that's
Pruitt
going to
was
the
asking.
Alabama Supreme Court now, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So he got the injunction granted, and then the NCAA appealed. This was back in December is when they appealed it to the Supreme Court of Alabama. That was December 29th. And what is it today? January 30th?
Right.
There's been no progress. I've looked in that case file. There's been nothing that's happened in the last month. So I don't think that would move very quickly if there was an appeal to the Supreme Court of Alabama. I think that would, again, be something over the course of months, if not longer. So, as far as stopping him from playing, I don't know if there is a recourse. I don't know if there's a federal court that the NCAA could go to, but again, I'm not well versed enough to know what their strategy would be there.
Mike Rodak from Bama 247 joins us here on Three Man Front. We just had Wimp Sanderson on, and I asked him this question, and you've covered Alabama basketball for a while, so I'll get your thoughts on this. I asked, looking at Bediako today as opposed to 3 years ago, and I understand that it's only been a 2-game sample, but what we've seen so far, compare and contrast what you've seen, Mike, because like I said, you have covered Alabama basketball for a couple of years.
Yeah, I think he's been more of a threat to score. They've been looking for him. I was in person at the Tennessee game, and it seemed like, especially in the first half of that game, like every possession they were trying to look for him to go to the rim and kind of lob it up. And Tennessee really adjusted well to that in the second half of that game, and his scoring went down, but he scored again, a decent amount in the Missouri game. So, I think that's kind of been elevated. Granted, he's playing with different guys than he was a couple years ago when you had Brandon Miller who could score it the way he did, and when you had Noah Clowney who could score it 3 years ago. Like, that's a little bit different. So, there's probably more opportunities for him to do that too. So at the end of the day, like, I think that's him going to the rim on lobs, him, being a defensive presence in terms of shot blocking is probably his greatest strengths. I think he's similarly not a great rebounder, or not at a very high level rebounder. That's been something that Nate has even talked about, this past week, that he needs to rebound better. I think in his first 2 seasons, he played 70 games. He had double-digit rebounds in 5 of those. And these first 2 games that he's played coming back, he's been in the 4 or 5 rebound range. So, that's something that I think they'll need more out of him, especially, granted, look at the game on Sunday with Florida. Florida is the best rebounding team in the country, and they kind of run all those bigs at you. So that's going to be a huge story, I think, for Bediako, even more than the scoring, is how can he rebound on Sunday.
Mike, speaking of Sunday there in Gainesville, I was expecting a lot of fireworks. A little bit disappointed because we're here for the entertainment and the storylines. But Todd Golden, what he had to say about Alabama, then kind of walking back or softening his comments or maybe clarifying his comments. I love Nate Oates paraphrasing all of this. I would expect Nate to say the same thing. I was thinking maybe we were going to get more than just a basketball game, maybe some fireworks. Is there still the potential that happens between the two head coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously, you probably say something in the moment if you're Golden when you're on the radio show, like, yeah, we're going to beat them. And I think you realize that, all right, I probably shouldn't have done that. And so you're maybe being a little bit more strategic with your words when he talks about it again. But at the end of the day, I don't know if it necessarily changes the mentality internally for him. I'm sure there's, frustration with him about the system or what Alabama in his mind has gotten away with. And I can't imagine that's changed. And he's beaten Alabama 4 times in a row, and he's the defending national champion head coach. I think there's just naturally kind of a swagger there that you probably have. And, Nate's had a lot of success as well. And I'm sure Nate's trying to beat a guy who's beaten him 4 times in a row, and, a guy who's, talking about beating Alabama. So, at the end of the day, I don't know if it's anything crazy. Makes for a juicier game, kind of a game with more storylines, kind of like the Vandy football game, this past year when you had a Diego Pavia type. But, I don't know if it's going to change the game at all. I think it's still going to come down to, can Alabama rebound? I mean, that's the number one overarching story about this game, just because Florida's so good at it.
Mike Rodak joins us from Bama 247 here on Three Man Front, joins us every Friday here on Jocks and Three Man Front. I wanted to ask you about Hollywood Smothers. He gave an interview to On 3, and we had a lot of fun with it yesterday on the show because it was some very interesting comments about why he decided after he enrolled at the University of Alabama as a student, decided to go to Austin and sign a deal to be one of the two running backs that they got out of the transfer portal for this upcoming season for the Longhorns. And the one quote I was going to ask you about is what he said: "What separated things for me was Texas's emphasis on going to win it all." And that kind of struck us on the show as a little bit odd because it's been a long time, especially on this show, that we've heard anybody declare that somebody else might be, they have more, emphasis on going all in to win a championship than Alabama does year in, year out. So it was kind of odd for a player to say that. Just your thoughts on what Smothers said to On Three.
Yeah, a few thoughts. I'd say the first one is, I would love for a player one of these days just to be honest and say he went somewhere else because of money. And I don't know if that was necessarily the case with Smothers, but it seems like every single time there's a situation that indicates that, whether it's recruiting or, high school or the transfer portal, just say it. Like we're to a certain point in the stage of college football history where I think it's okay to say that. But people don't want to do that. So that's kind of my first thought. My second thought is, I don't really understand the phrasing on his part. The emphasis on winning. I maybe you can draw a line in your head that he's talking more about Texas's spending and that they're going out and trying to stack players on players and spending big in the portal, and they're, trying to win a national championship in that sense. And I don't think Alabama's not trying to win a national championship, which seems to be what he's implying, but maybe there's a greater capability, with Texas in being able to do that because of their deeper pockets than what Alabama has, which I think is, pretty established at this point. So I guess in a sense, you can kind of make that argument if you're him in your own head that Texas is spending bigger in the portal around you, and probably with you as well. And that means that they're, more serious about winning a national championship than Alabama. And again, I don't know if that's true in the sense of desire, but it's probably true in the sense of capability in terms of spending. So where that lands it, I don't know. But it's a strange little case, and we'll have to see how Smothers does this year, and maybe look back on it in another year. But I don't know if it's going to make or break the season of Alabama or Texas, having him or not having him.
Right. No, I agree with that. And I agree with everything you just said. It's just funny to me because he uses that as a reason why he went to Austin, but the hay was not in the barn with the Alabama transfer portal class. Like if you wanted to wait a week or two before you went and signed somewhere to see what could Alabama get another, maybe get his teammate Peak to be your offensive tackle, or go get some other wide receivers, whatever the case may be. Heck, they got Noah Carter, who was a teammate of his in NC State. It was just odd to me that he said that in regards to when he went to Austin, did not give Alabama the full scope of the transfer portal timing to see what else Alabama could have done.
True. Yeah. It's the whole calendar is so messed up too, where at that point, you're talking the first week of the portal in terms of guys trying to find new teams is when the academic calendar starts for a lot of schools in January. And so there's a lot of pressure, I think, on these guys to make a decision, sign on the dotted line, get in school. And it's kind of a race, those first days really of January. And it's probably a better way of doing this, where you can kind of see things play out a little bit better without, some of the pressure to jump right in. But yeah, it was a strange comment. Maybe there's a way to explain it, but I don't know.
Now, listen, it is the transfer portal. I get it. And I don't think having him was going to mean that Alabama was going to be the favorite to win the SEC, just like, whether he went to Texas or not. Texas was probably going to be a favorite in the SEC because of Arch Manning, whether he went there or not. But last question. Kalen DeBoer down in Mobile, met with the media, talked about the transfer portal, but I wanted to ask you about his comments about making the change at offensive line, because I don't know which reporter did, but they asked him about the fact that, I don't know, it might have been your teammate Alex Scarborough, I'm not sure, in regards to Kapilovic was out recruiting, trying to get players, and then he made the decision to make the change at offensive line. I thought that was very interesting, the whole timing of the change there for the O-line.
Yeah, it was, I think it was Colin Gay from Tuscaloosa News who asked him. And Yeah, I mean it's a good question because it took a while, and there's not a whole lot of history to fall back on in terms of Kalen firing assistants. He just I mean he was at Sioux Falls. He had so much success there. It's not like he was firing anybody. He wasn't at Washington or Fresno for that long as a head coach. So there's just not a whole lot of precedent. And last year, the only coach he fired was Colin Hitchler, the safeties coach, and he was gone within 48 hours, I think, of the last game. So this one took longer, and you got back into the recruiting period where Kapilovic not only had kind of wined and dined all the transfer portal offensive linemen that they brought in, but then was back out on the road recruiting high school recruits, which is, it's a little bit strange to have a guy kind of selling the program literally the same day that, you call him in and fire him. So, Kalen's answer about that was he basically was undecided, that there was a couple different ways he could go, and then he decided that was the way he wanted to go. So, that was three weeks or longer really than after the season ended, or he could have had a decision about his offensive line coach even before the Rose Bowl, honestly. So ideally, I think you would have moved on earlier and found your next line coach earlier, and then had him in place so that you're recruiting the guys out of the portal to the actual line coach that they're playing for. Because right now you have 16 offensive linemen on the team. 14 of them were recruited by Chris Kapilovic. None of them by Adrian Clem. So, I mean, if the offensive line's not playing well this year, are we going to go, Adrian Clem just needs to get his guys in? Like, you had a chance.
Right.
So
good point.
It's just a little bit, the timing of it all was a little bit strange to me.
That is Mike Rodak. You can follow his work there at Bama 247. He's also working at nights getting his law degree from the Birmingham School of Law.
I try.
I made that last part up, but you can follow his work at Bama 247.
You could pass as an attorney.
Yes.
Somebody told me I should be one day, and then I just went awry and became a sports writer instead. So.
Hey, I was curious. What was your major at Providence?
It was a double major, management
there you
and
go.
finance.
That's what I'm talking about.
Was not there's no journalist program.
That's just like,
college,
hey.
but
I could also see you as a banker.
yeah, I mean, who doesn't like money, right?
Did you used to hang out with kids that went to Brown?
Yeah, not a whole lot, a little bit.
I didn't know if you went to frat parties on campus at Brown.
I went maybe one or two on the Brown side. One of my friends, his girlfriend went to Brown. She was a pre-med or doctor or whatever it was.
Wow.
So
Ivy League.
he made a good decision with his life there.
I got a question. Do they have rest areas on interstates in Rhode Island?
There's only one big interstate. That's 95. There probably is in the southern part of Rhode Island. It's pretty.
Just wondering is it big enough to even have a rest area where you would have the need to stop?
There might be one or two. I would have to think.
I mean, because basically Providence is a suburb of Boston, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of become that way. It's all a conglomeration now. But yeah, there was one night at Providence where I decided I wanted White Castle burgers. And so I drove from Providence to New Jersey and got myself a White Castle and drove all the way back.
Now, how long did that take you?
Like 6 hours round trip. So I don't remember if there was any rest stops along the way.
Wait a minute.
For a White Castle?
Was this after a night of partying?
No, it was just a random.
You just got a
weeknight.
hankering for
Felt
some
like
sweaty
White Castle.
burgers.
Yeah.
So folks in the Midwest call them sweaty burgers.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. They don't have them in Rhode Island, so I had to go.
No, they're really good. And you know what? They've got, and you got to prepare them the way that the box recommends, but you can get those bad boys in the frozen food section of your local grocery, and they're actually pretty good.
Are they?
Yeah.
It's not as good as Union City, New Jersey.
Now, it's not as good as the memories you have from the 6 hours round trip.
Did you go by yourself or did you take some buddies with
you? Did you get 3
No, I was
sackfuls?
just by myself. I was just hungry. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go do it. I'm gonna do this thing, and I did.
Man.
Conviction.
There's another story here somewhere.
There had to have been a girl.
There
was
a girl.
There was a girl.
I had never seen this movie. I guess Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
I've still never seen it.
Yeah.
All right. So you learned something new about me today.
That's great.
What was her name?
Come on, just tell us the name. We won't tell anybody.
It's not. There was nothing like that involved. It was simply a hankering for a square little burger.
I bet he had like one of those like Rounders card games up there.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
You could also pass for a card player.
I'm not good at that.
The many faces of Mike Rodak.
All right, Mike, we've done enough damage to
Hey,
your.
are you letting Bediako stay in your game day condo?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not yet, but
All
I
right.
would imagine he's got good accommodations.
Yeah, that's what I was
down
about to say. No offense, I've
Let's
never
just
seen Mike's
make
place,
sure
but
this poor kid has somewhere to stay.
yeah, I think Bediako's not doubling up in a dorm.
Okay.
I think he's taken care of.
I don't know, 7-footer getting a dorm.
Yeah, maybe not. All right, Mike, we've abused you enough today. Enjoy your cold
Thanks, Mike.
weekend.
there. I will do.
Eat a
Thanks, guys.
sweaty burger for us.
Yeah.
I will.
Thanks. Appreciate it. That's Mike Rodak. Joins us every Friday on the Higginbotham Hotline. All of our guests join us on that Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Speaking of food, it is lunchtime. How about Crafts, a new location right there on 280? The show's going to be there in conjunction with the Birmingham Stallions.
Yes, we are next Friday.
Woo! Get your chicken on. They also have burgers, too. They got a smash Angus burger that's delicious. But Crafts on 280, their newest location, they have a drive-through. It's the first drive-through through the Crafts franchises, but they have wonderful made-from-scratch chicken. That's where they got their name. The fried chicken tenders, you want to go with the chicken bites, all the made-from-scratch sauces like the White Lightning, the Southwest Ranch. You want to go honey hot, you can do that as well. The signature wings, the chicken sandwiches, mention the burger, but how about a wrap? You want to go with a grilled chicken plate, a bowl, a salad. They got something for everybody. Don't forget about the stick-to-your-ribs sides, like the mac and cheese, the rice, the mashed potatoes and gravy, the fried okra, squash casserole. You know what I'm talking about. They get us. They know what we like here in the state of Alabama. It's Crafts. We're going to be there, three-man front, along with the Stallions and Jocks next Friday. But get into Crafts this weekend and enjoy it. I promise you, you will.
Coming up on Three-Man Front, we'll get to your texts. We got a ton of texts, and we got phone calls we need to get to. This is a Friday edition of Three-Man Front. Everything you wanted to know about Rhode Island. It's always a fun segment. Have we asked him if he's been to P-Town?
No, we need to.
Have we
though.
not?
You never wear your P-Town shirt anymore. If you're not going to wear it, bring it back in.
I forgot that I had that. I'll wear it on Monday.
I'm just glad I get emails from those people all the time now.
Wear the P-Town shirt to the closing on your house.
Well, it's also that would be
Explain to everyone how the origin of the P-Town shirt.
Someone
would be
said that they
great.
saw you wearing the P-Town shirt the other night.
Mm-hmm. Passing out flyers.
Yeah, no, I just like that I can't even go out and enjoy dinner with my friends without Pat being, oh, I got people telling me that you're
In downtown Birmingham
frolicking about the town.
on a midweek. I mean, seriously, this isn't Friday night.
I know. I was out
This
until
isn't Saturday night.
I was out until 8:30.
I mean, this is
Midweek.
This is
Yeah.
midweek on church night.
You're 30 years.
Stop it.
You're
On
30.
Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wednesday
it was
night.
church night.
Wednesday
Mhm.
night.
Yep. Yep.
You should see how red his face got when he came in here during a commercial break. And I said, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
so what were you doing out downtown Birmingham the other night?"
Well, the look said it all. It was, I'm guilty. Oh, crap.
Uh-oh.
Disgusting.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is, Molly. It's disgusting.
Just having a good time
Yeah, that's what we
with my
heard.
friends.
That's what we heard.
I can't quit thinking about the sweaty burgers. I need one of those burgers. How many would you get? Because if you're going to make the round trip, don't you get like 5 sackfuls if you're Mike Rodak? Get
I've
like
n-
60 burgers.
I've never had White Castle before.
I love White Castle.
You've had Crystal.
Yeah, but not my thing. Not my style. I have seen the Harold and Kumar movie though.
I'm not saying they're exactly alike, but I'm saying if Crystal's not your style, then White Castle might not be your style.
No,
okay,
it
that's
won't
well.
be.
I mean, I'm also like the pickles and mustard.
You don't
and
like
stuff,
pickles.
that's
You don't
not-
like mustard. You don't
That's
like
kind of
the-
a
you don't like the onions.
kind of a non-starter for that.
Yeah, that's problematic.
Mm.
I've heard good things about it though. I know a lot of people. 6 hours though. I'm just trying to think if there's any food that I would drive 6 hours round trip for.
I'm calling you know what on that. I still believe that there was a girl involved.
I agree. Yeah.
Nobody drives 6 hours just for food.
No.
Well, especially if you're like, man, I'm starving, and then you're gonna drive 3 hours before you get the food.
And you're going to New Jersey, which means you have to. I mean, I guess he went through Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
I would assume.
And then, okay,
You go through a lot.
6 hours. Wow.
We'll get to the bottom of it. We'll do some sleuthing.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
There was something there.
But, or that's not a whole lot going on in P-Town or Providence.
Now, P-Town is over on.
Yeah, that's right. It's
the,
different.
yeah,
Sorry, Mike.
It's on the water, isn't it?
yeah, it's on the hook of Cape Cod, right? That's where P-Town is.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's just a day trip.
Could turn into a nice weekend stay. You never know. I don't know if you can get through all the exhibits in one day. It might be like Disney World. You have to go to each park each day.
Well, they have a lot of parades there, so you can fill up your time during the day,
That's true.
and then maybe hit the museum at night.
Do you go to when you go to the Welcome Center, you think the museum is the first thing they feature? Like, hey, while you're here downtown, go to our museum.
I
It's
would
famous.
legitimately be fascinated to find out, how many people had shown up there out of just curiosity with Bill Belichick. I mean, I'm serious. I bet there's a number of people that have gone, like not across the country, but maybe they live an
Yeah,
hour away.
in the area, and they say, "Hey, you know what? We've never done
Yeah, on
that."
Saturday, let's drive to P-Town, see what the jokes are about, whatever.
Toys of Eros, the museum.
What's it called?
Toys of Eros.
Is it still open?
I would think business is probably better than it's ever been.
Is it still open? Yeah, it's still open, I think. Wait, oh, yep. Oh, there it is. Yep.
And he continues to use the
I
company
was about to say,
computer
are you
to go to
perusing
these-
the online shopping category or?
Yeah. But I'm glad we got a record of it. I'm just trying to figure out if it was still open. And this was for the show, so
Yes,
it's
it's
fine.
It's
for the show.
I'm good.
It's all research.
Just like you being out on Wednesday night. Air
Yeah.
quotes.
That was
You were
research
doing
for the
show research.
Well, I was told that I need to be more personable and open about my life. And so I was out trying to live life experiences that I could bring back to the show.
Oh, walk us
Because
through your
I
life.
don't share enough about myself on this show.
How many beers did you drink?
That's not important.
See, this is what we're talking about.
It was only...
Is keeping this mask over the life that is Conrad Van Order.
It was 4. I was there for like 4 hours. It's not bad.
And you ate.
And I ate. Yeah,
Okay.
I ate.
Just checking.
Had some water. That was good.
Now that I think about it, Pat, Thursday he was a little bit off.
Yeah, he was.
We got a guy coming in with.
That's why I was bad on the Price is Right, because I was,
So it took you 2 days to get over 4 beers?
yeah, I was all messed up from my big night on Wednesday.
Nothing
I
like a
guess.
good midweek hangover.
Yeah.
That just spells Conrad has reached grown up stage.
Was this a special
Come
occasion?
on, Conrad.
What were y'all doing on a Wednesday night? Watching the Auburn game? What were you doing?
We were watching the Auburn game, and we
Okay.
wanted to go out and hang out and celebrate the fact that my wife and I bought a house.
So where was Paige?
She was at home.
So we're celebrating y'all buying a house, but she's not involved.
Well, my friends were celebrating me buying a house with my wife.
So they have a place to crash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we were figuring out, the pool party situation and everything for the summer and the rotation, because, you guys, we've got to figure out the schedule for everybody so everybody can
Molly's really looking forward to the pool party.
I'm
enjoy the
so
new
excited.
house. Well, I look forward to having you all over there.
How big
It'll
is
be
the
a lot of
pool?
fun.
How many of us can get in the pool?
We could all fit in the pool.
We could.
Yeah. It's not huge, but it's,
Are you going to put that special dye in the pool when Landrum gets in to
Can we
make sure?
play-
I will, to
can
make
we
sure
play
that he
Gator?
doesn't pee. Yeah.
I'm definitely peeing in your pool.
That's fine. I will too.
I'm doing it just because it's you. And
That
I
might be
think
the first thing I do when we
I feel
move
like
in.
you would appreciate it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Instead of a housewarming gift, that's his love language. Just peeing in his pool.
Yeah, take a shower on the way out too. It'd be great.
All right. We've got texts, a lot of texts, and we got calls. We'll get to those next on 3 Man Front.
11:37, the Friday edition of Three Man Front lands from Pat, Conrad, and Molly. Your phone calls, your texts, we will get to those here on this Friday. Got to tell you about the Garage in Pelham. Great companies, just great folks that represent the Garage, and you're going to be treated right. Bob is the owner. He's all about giving back to the community. He sponsors local schools and charities. He's got great guys like Richie and Robert. Guys, hello. I know that they're listening to Jocks and Three Man Front right now. When you walk into the lobby, you're going to see a clean, professional environment, and that's what you're going to get, not only from the front of the house, but the back of the house. They're going to treat you fairly, honestly. They're going to take care of you. Everything from oil changes to, heaven forbid, an engine replacement, they can do it. They're at the Garage in Pelham. TheGarageInPelham.com. I've got a bunch of little things that I need to get addressed on my truck. Nothing major. They're going to handle all of it. They got a nationwide warranty. Only use factory parts when applicable. And again, if I've got water mobile, when they go in, respect and Pelham. Robert, folks there said hello.
Basketball, it starts tomorrow. Auburn is at Tennessee. This is kicking off a stretch for Auburn in which it faces 4 straight quad one opponents. The Tigers travel to Knoxville Saturday. It's a primetime game. You can hear right here on Jocks. Auburn is the hottest team in the SEC currently. They've won 4 straight, 5 of their last 6. Tennessee, meanwhile, they've won 3 of 4 as both teams are playing great basketball at the moment. So it should be a really, really competitive game. The upcoming stretch for Auburn, the upcoming quad one games that I just mentioned, that adds to already a strong resume for Auburn. They boast the nation's number 2 strength of schedule, and they're currently number 28 in the net rankings. Auburn has already played 10 quad one games. They have a 4-6 record and 13 quad one and quad 2 games this year. So both Alabama and Auburn, and we talk about it every year. Bruce Pearl did it. Stevens doing it down at Auburn. Nate Oates has done it. They have just stepped up the non-conference game big time. A lot of those preseason